The driving iconic score that welcomes you to Predator Hunting Grounds is one that instantly sparks nostalgia into anyone familiar with the cult 1987 movie. Unfortunately, very little else of what made the Arnold Schwarzenegger vs Alien Monster Bullet Fest so much fun has made it into IllFonic's latest 80s adaptation. There are brief bursts of frantic action lurking in the undergrowth, which when combined with tense firefights create blockbuster moments synonymous with the source material. These moments are all too infrequent, however, as Hunting Grounds often underwhelms more than it excites. Before dropping in for your daily dose of asymmetric action, you'll have one crucial decision to make. Play as one of 4 Fireteam members as you infiltrate an area of nondescript South American jungle and attempt to complete a series of objectives in an exfiltrate before the 15-minute timer runs down. Or choose the Predator life as you hunt down the Fireteam and try to pick them off one by one, distract them from their mission, and be an all-round nuisance. It seems like the latter should be the far more appealing option, even if the relatively long matchmaking times that come with it are not. But it's actually as a Fireteam member that I found the majority of my enjoyment in Hunting Grounds. There's a variety of missions that you'll be randomly assigned when landing in one of the 3 maps currently available. Each is essentially the same package wrapped in different paper, however, and almost entirely consists of going to a marked area on a map, holding down the square button and dealing with a few AI-controlled guerrilla fighters before moving on to the next. These fighters aren't the sharpest blades of grass in the jungle though, and will consistently funnel down the same few corridors waiting to be greeted by gunfire. The shooting itself feels adequate, not operating on the same plane as an Apex Legends or Call of Duty, but serviceable and at no point gave me reason to want to stop playing. There's a small selection of weapons to choose from, each more than effective against the AI, especially the default shotgun, which counts as a secondary weapon and appears able to one-shot every grunt at a frankly absurd range. As a result of those factors, these firefights offer little to no challenge and quickly become repetitive as you gain knowledge of the enemy spawn positions. When the PvE becomes PvPvE is where a lot of the enjoyment can be found in Hunting Grounds. When all of the elements of the hunt come together, high action moments are created, and the appealing core idea of Hunting Grounds shines through, especially in the final phase, after all mission objectives have been completed and you inevitably need to get to the chopper. The stakes are heightened as you have to defend your location from both militia and the Predator, who has to abandon all subtlety and go all out at this stage to prevent you from escaping. For all of this to come together just right largely relies on the ability level of the player controlling Predator, and that's exacerbated by the disappointingly unbalanced nature of Hunting Grounds. Too often the hunted become the hunters, and what should be a tense, fearful encounter for the Fireteam descends into a game of cat and mouse, where the mouse can just turn around and unload a full clip of ammunition into their pursuer. The Predator can easily be defeated by the Fireteam as long as they stick together, because the stealthy alien has very little answer to 4 guns being pointed at him. A more tactically thought out plan of attack sounds so much more interesting than successfully going toe-to-toe with a creature that you have no business matching up against. Defeating the Predator should be the pinnacle of the experience, but it happens far too often and offers little satisfaction. Once the Predator is downed, 3 different scenarios can play out, each underwhelming to varying degrees. First, if you get enough damage in quickly, then you can finish the monster off for good and call into HQ for the body to be collected. Once this happens, you'll have to keep the body in pristine condition while defending it from a slightly increased, but still impotent number of AI forces. If you don't finish off the Predator though, he'll just have enough time to set off his iconic self-destruct mini nuke. This is the much more interesting option that provides a few seconds of tense decision making. You can either run and try and escape the blast radius, or if you're feeling brave, you can try to defuse the bomb by completing a series of 4 puzzles against the clock. The Witness this is not, but the minigame does provide a brief period of fear and excitement that I wish there was so much more of in Hunting Grounds. Meanwhile, playing as the Predator should feel like a power trip, but Hunting Grounds falls short in this regard. Some elements of his skill set do feel great to wield, and leaping purposely through treetops, or pred core if you will, feels fluid. For the first few hours of playing, your arsenal will be limited to pretty much the basics, but more exciting options do begin to open up the further you progress. When at close quarters, it takes several imprecise melee attacks with your sharpened claws in order to take down a Fireteam member, by which time you'll be lucky to have not had a good chunk of your health bar taken away. From this point on, the tables are often turned, and the Predator becomes the prey after your first engagement. Even when using your cloaking device, it's fairly easy to get spotted in the trees while retreating, and before you've had time to claim your kill, the Fireteam have already revived their squad squad mate. It's a fairly unsatisfying kind of encounter that needs balancing out in the near future, whether that's by increasing the Predator's damage output or his resistance to gunfire. The look of the Predator, and in particular the sound design, is spot on though, and when combined with the movie's pulsating score evokes a big hit of nostalgia. It's disappointing that the same care hasn't gone into the Fireteam, who are just a selection of generic male and female character models that can be minorly customised. There are a couple of little nods to the original movie in the unlockable cosmetics, but it would have been nice to see more for fans of the series. Predator Hunting Grounds doesn't quite let you live out that power fantasy of being an extraterrestrial master hunter, nor does it provide top tier co-op FPS gunplay. Brief moments playing on either side of the battlefield create genuinely exciting action scenes, but they're all too infrequent and end far too abruptly when you find them, because the Predator is too often outgunned and has few means of dividing and conquering his prey. There's a consistently enjoyable experience buried somewhere in the janky jungle of Predator Hunting Grounds, but it's just not that easy to find yet. For more on Predator Hunting Grounds, check out these videos.